In unit number 7 on page 158, we go into estate. The state will ask you questions about the estate, and do not do this. This is a huge blunder, and the state's going to make sure you do not do this. Let's read this. The insured's estate may be designated as a beneficiary and used to pay the debts and the cost of legally closing the estate. After the estate debts are paid, the remaining proceeds will be distributed to the insured's heirs along with the estate's other assets. Highlight this, underline this, put an asterisk here. Here's your state exam question. Life insurance proceeds that are paid into the estate are counted towards the total value of the estate for the estate tax purposes. Remember, folks, the benefits of life insurance, if they're paid out as a benefit to a loved one, they're alive, they don't have to pay taxes on this. But if you make an estate the beneficiary, this is what happens. That money now becomes taxable, because if you throw in the deceased person's house, their other assets, their business, their second homes, their bank accounts, cars, whatever, you're probably going to blow that estate over a certain dollar amount, and now everything is subject to estate taxes. Do not do this. This is a huge blunder. The state is going to make sure you do not make the estate the beneficiary if there are loved ones. Just name them directly, the money goes to them directly, and they don't have to pay taxes if the policy's paid as a benefit. On bottom of page 158, the state might ask you about per stirpes and per capita. This is easy to remember. Go down to the second paragraph and highlight. Per capita means by the head. That's easy to remember. I have my head per capita. That's how we name people. But on page 159, they might ask you about per stirpes. Highlight, per stirpe means by the branch. Well, what this means is it's genealogy. So you don't necessarily have to know the person's first or last name. So we do it through genealogy. We find people by the branch, per stirpes. On page 159, we go into your primary beneficiary. That means it's the first person. Or contingent, the second person, or tertiary, the third person. The state might ask you about the order of how the beneficiaries are paid out. On page 160 at the very top, highlight the title of revocable versus irrevocable. Highlight the first two paragraphs, put asterisks here. These have been on every state exam I've taken. The state will ask you these questions. Highlight. Beneficiary designations can be changed or revoked without notice and without their knowledge or consent. Such designations are called revocable beneficiaries. Policyholders can give up their right to change the beneficiary designation. Such designations are called irrevocable beneficiaries. Now, why is that important for you to know the difference between revocable and irrevocable? Here we go. Let's pretend that two people just got divorced and they have children. One spouse asks the courts, they pray to the courts, that the other spouse buy life insurance to protect the minor children that the other spouse has. You want to make yourself the irrevocable beneficiary if you have the kids. Why? Because what if your ex-spouse remarries and starts a new family, and the courts have ordered a life insurance policy to be taken out to protect the kids? They could change the beneficiary to their new spouse and their second family and those children. So the first family, they absolutely want to make sure that they are irrevocable and the policyholder cannot change those people. The state will ask the difference between the two. On page 161, we go into facility of payment provisions. Highlight the paragraph at the top and those two bullets. I have seen state exam questions here. It says, the facility of payment provisions allow the insurer to pay all or part of the policy owner's death paid